All right. I got Tim, known as Timorrwhat, on the pod. Super stoked to talk to him. Tim, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So, have you been? I think you just met my brother at the Colorado Jam, right?
I did. Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah.
That guy is hard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's trying to catch up to me, I think.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
It was fun. We got to play some games.
yeah. Cool. So you're out in Colorado?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. What part?
Loveland, which is like near Fort Collins. It's a little ways away from Boulder, which is where
Okay.
they do those games, but it's
Yeah.
like close enough. It's like an
Is it
hour
like
drive.
Boulder's like east of Denver or north?
Um, I think it's like northwest a little
Yeah,
bit.
okay. Okay. So if you just keep going, then you'll hit Loveland.
Yeah.
Do you have any seshers around you, or is it just you?
Um, there's a few people in Fort Collins. Yeah. I
Cool.
mostly play by myself, but I've been going to the Boulder Jams more often recently, which has
Yeah.
been really fun.
And those are like weekly.
Yeah, I think they
Cool.
do they do two a week actually, but the
Oh.
other one is in Broomfield, which is like a lot. It's a good bit further for me, and I drive an electric car, so it's hard to
Uh,
make it all the way out there.
what kind of car do you drive?
Nissan Leaf.
Oh, Leaf.
Yeah,
Nice. Do you like it?
yeah. Yeah, I do.
Nice. Um, cool. Well, I'm glad that you are able to do an interview. I think I hit you up a while ago about doing this, and then
Yeah,
my brother like just met you at the gym and was like, dude, you got to interview Tim because he's really honed. So I was like, all right.
hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember you hitting me up about this interview and I've been like thinking about it
Yeah.
ever since, but I didn't really want to hit you up again. I don't know.
Oh,
I
dude,
was
it's
just
all good,
waiting.
bro. Yeah. I think I have like 10 people like I have ADHD, so I just will see something that I like on Instagram, like, yo, let's do an interview, and then I'll just forget about it. It sucks.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think when did we originally meet at NACO, right? 2020, what was that?
it was a
2019?
few years ago.
No, yeah, it must have
Yeah, it
been
was
22.
NACO.
Or no,
I
23.
don't remember the
No.
year. That sounds right.
No, I think it was 2019, right? Before COVID?
No, it was after COVID.
It was.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a 20, so they had a 2022, not a
And
2023, and now they're gonna okay. Yeah, so it's
and then they went
2022.
on I think they went online right after the one we met at.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I don't remember why they did it online that year.
Yeah, I think it was business stuff because it wasn't COVID. COVID was done by that point. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. So I've been a big fan of your clips for a while. But also I've been a big fan. I think you do a lot of new gen stuff, which I like to watch. I like to see your progression. But I've been a big fan, I think mostly of well, three things actually. So the first is the energy that you have, because it really looks like you are, I don't know where you get this godly determination at, but you just go outside and it feels like you have some kind of curse where you can't go back home unless you lace. Second,
Yes, it does feel
you,
that way.
yeah, okay. So we'll get into that. And then second is your outfits. I've been missing the all pink for a while. I'm waiting for you to bring that back.
Oh
The
man,
pink,
yeah.
the pink pajamas, remember that in your basement?
What? Oh, I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So and then
Yeah.
you have sick hats too. And then thirdly, the question is to kick or not to kick, right? So we'll dive into that first. So after you lace a trick, you're either between walking away, kicking, or flipping off the camera. Like in that moment, what do you do to determine what action you're going to take?
I honestly don't think about it at all. It's
Okay.
just a natural reaction.
Yeah, okay. I usually
It
throw.
depends.
I like to throw, but I've always liked to throw things
Yeah,
since I was little. So, but yeah, I guess you
I
like to do other
I
things.
drop it and
Yeah.
sometimes I kick it on the way down. It's yeah, and I think it really has to do with how the sesh went.
Yeah.
If it if it took way longer than I wanted it to, I think I'm a
Yeah.
lot more likely to kick it. If it took way, way longer than I wanted it to, and I was mad the whole time, then I'm likely to flip off the camera.
Okay. And I think I've tried to comment on every single one that you flipped and kicked. There's not that many of them. It's a rare occurrence for the kick and the flip off. But that's always okay. Well, I guess like jokes aside, you have one of the most like the most insane mental determination. Like,
Thank
where
you.
does that come from? Like, you've just have been nonstop for I don't know how long you've been playing. 4 years? Like, how long have you been grinding?
I've been playing 8 years, I think.
Okay,
I think I started in
2015, 2016. Okay.
2016, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll go there first. So when how'd you find it? When did you start and when did you start posting clips? If you want to go through like a timeline.
Um, I think I I think I was exposed to it like even earlier than that.
Okay.
And I think I like picked it up and messed with it very
Yeah.
briefly. I didn't really like get that far with it. Like probably just did a few cups and maybe like did my first spike.
Yeah.
And then I really started playing. Um, I think it was the summer of 2016. Um,
Okay.
my friend just had a bunch of like Azoras and TK16s and stuff like just lying around his house. He used to be really into it and he kind of hadn't been playing for a while, but he just had a bunch of old beat up Kendamas and I would just mess with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and yeah, I got really into it and was just grinding really hard from there.
Okay.
I think that was around when like I think Bonds was like really big
Yeah.
at that point, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of the like Chrome edits and
Mm.
I was very motivated to get really good.
Okay. So you were in the culture, in the community, and you saw those like bonds and those players play, and you wanted to grind and get better.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then have you taken breaks since then?
not really.
Okay.
Occasionally for like a little bit, but it's usually not a full break. It's more just like I play a little less for
A week,
a
maybe a
month
month.
or two,
Yeah. Nice.
but
And
for the
how
most
old are
part, it's
you?
been every day. I am 25.
Okay. So did you
How
find
old are
it?
you?
I'm 30.
Okay,
Yeah. So
nice.
so you must have found it when
Oldest 10 tab.
what'd you say?
I said oldest 10 tab.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Um, so uh did you go to university or you just start ripping right out of high school?
Oh, sorry. I just realized I'm probably oldest 12 tab. Have you gotten 12 tab?
Um, no, I'm going to though.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah, you
so
will.
you'll be for a little bit, but I don't know about that. You're 25?
Yeah. I don't think anyone's
No,
older
no,
doing
but no one must have
doing
gotten
that
it,
number of
right?
tabs. What's that?
I mean, maybe a Japanese player.
I feel like most of them are really young though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So yeah.
Anyway, you were asking about university?
Yeah. So did
Yeah.
you find in Kendama in high school or
I found it right after high school.
okay, got you.
That's when I started playing.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
I've been kind of in and out of college since high school. I didn't go right away, but I got a degree in recording arts
No way.
like last year. Yeah, and then I'm back in school now for computer science
Okay.
currently.
Recording
Yeah,
arts like music?
yeah, yeah.
So do you
Like
produce music?
I produce music. I rap and sing and I do all that. Yeah.
No way. Do you can we
Yeah.
find your SoundCloud anywhere or Spotify?
No, I don't really post it currently. It's kind
Okay.
of I've just been working on it in the background. I've had stuff out in the past, but yeah, it's more of like a it's just something I'm passionate about, but I'm not really trying to like
Promote it.
push it out at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, 'cause I make music too, so that
Yeah.
was a
No.
grind in and out. I'm always kind of going back to it, but Kendama's been like this steady thing for a while. But
Yeah.
that's really cool, man.
Sick.
Um, so okay, so now you're in for computer science. Okay, cool. And then um, you just rip Dama whenever you can on the side because it feels like you're out there a lot.
Yeah. It depends. I didn't realize this until this summer, but it's really hard to play outside in the summer.
Yeah,
Um, I either have to wake up really early or there's like between 4 and 6 I can be outside.
in the
I don't know.
morning,
It yeah. What's that?
4 or 6 in the morning.
In the evening. I guess it's not that bad. It's just like it's so hot in the middle of the day and
Yeah,
not as much shade.
yeah, yeah. I've seen you're racing clips on a porch. It's probably because it's too hot outside.
Yes, I've been doing the porch sesh because it's too hot. I don't like playing over concrete though, and I don't like the
Yeah.
background.
Mm,
Like I like having like a clear sky for the background.
right. So, when you post those clips, I feel like I see the same locations here and there, but is that just around your neighborhood?
Um,
Because I've seen like a street behind you sometimes. I've seen just a park with houses in the background. Yeah.
there's a couple spots I cycle through. The street, I think that is the community college I go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'll sesh a lot between my classes or after my classes. And then a lot of the like grassy spots with trees are either in my neighborhood or there's also a park I go to a lot.
Got you. Got you. Nice. Um, are you on a team? Are you sponsored?
No,
Do you have a desire to be sponsored or do you not really care?
I care a lot less than I used to.
Okay.
I think when I started Kendama, I was like, I want to get really good at this. I want to be sponsored. I want to be pro.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was sponsored by this like really tiny like startup kendama company for a little while. Um, just like out
What
of
were
the
they
blue.
called?
Nomic kendamas or nomic
Nomic
kendamas?
from Michigan.
Nomic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't think they're around anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Luke,
If I'm
I
not
think was
mistaken.
Luke was in charge of it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they hit me up and I was like sponsored by them for a little while. And then they just kind of stopped doing stuff
Okay.
and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move on
Yeah.
from this.
Okay.
And like after that, I was like, okay, I've technically been sponsored. Like that kind of
Yeah.
like that goal was sort of checked off for me, and
Yeah.
I wasn't like in a rush to join up with another company since then. But
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be sponsored. I think the other like the main reason I'm not like pushing for it super hard is because I can't go to events regularly right now. I because I don't have an
Mm,
income, so I can't afford to travel.
mm.
Um, so
That's tough. Yeah.
I know I can't go to events. I know that like I just couldn't offer as much as I would want to offer to a company that was
Yeah.
sponsoring me.
Yeah.
Um, So I'm just not like pushing for it super hard, but it would be really cool.
Yeah, okay, cool. Um, so I kind of want to talk about like what I mentioned earlier about your determination, because it feels like you have been on like a daily grind or a consistent grind for a long, long time, and you are really grinding hard for tricks, and that, it shows in your progression because of how much you've progressed in the years that you've been playing, Um, why do you think that you're yeah, what do you think do you feel like you're a especially motivated person compared to other players? Or do you know where that comes from? Or is it like a conscious thing, or is it just kind of something that you have?
I think I don't know if I don't know if I'm especially motivated. I guess I am very like when I go out to film, I do feel like I have to come back with something.
Mm.
Um, and it's really like really painful and frustrating when I don't.
But
Um,
what's the reason for that? Why and it's kind of like well, not a hypothetical question, but I have my own answers for me, but for you,
yeah,
like, is it personal satisfaction? Is it posting that video on Instagram and getting the credit through likes and comments? Is it a mixture of those things? Or is it this sense of progression and getting better and then this goal of being a top player at some point?
I think it's when I set out to film a trick, I usually know for a fact that I can land it. And so I expect to land it. And if I don't land it, it's really frustrating.
Yeah. So when you set out for a trick, do you not stop until you get it? Like, would you try different tricks?
Sometimes I'll switch the trick if it's like way harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Um, or if it's like over 2 hours grinding for it
Okay.
and
Damn.
I am like running out of like it feels like I'm getting worse with every attempt. Sometimes that
Yeah.
happens if you're on the same trick for a while.
Yeah. Like your body's slow and like you can't even concentrate and yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you stop making like I think the most frustrating thing is when you start grinding a trick, you miss spike like second try, and then you're grinding it for like an hour after that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
ever happens to you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So I guess maybe to try to sum it up, let me know if this sounds right, but you just have you're really focused on when a trick comes to your head and you think you can do it, that you try to go for it. And then I feel like when you're going for it, it's hard for you to give up, or you maybe feel like you have a lot of will to keep going and keep trying for it until you get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really like landing tricks. I really like filming tricks. Um, I don't care as much about the like Instagram metrics as I used to. I'm more just
Hmm.
like excited to do stuff for me and then document it.
Okay.
And it's also like it shows me that I'm progressing, like
Yeah.
kind of like it's about the trick itself, but it's also like if I'm landing tricks, I know I'm getting better,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
landing stuff I've done before.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what trick have you hit that you're the most proud of? Maybe it was the longest grind, or maybe it surprised you and you're just super stoked about it.
Um, I have quite a few that I'm really stoked on that I've
Okay.
gotten this year, I think. My favorite trick I've ever done is the 3 turn into 3 tap with a 3 turn out of 3 tap, then trip juggle, trip Ken, trip juggle, 3 turn
Yeah.
into 3 tap, 3 turn out of 3 tap.
So you hold Tama, then you pull it up, and it's three flips.
Um,
Then you hold Ken,
no,
then you
are
flip a
you
three
are you
turn.
able to pull it up? Actually, it's easier
Yeah.
to get it than explain it.
You want to just shoot it over to me?
Yeah. Actually, I can. Can I send you a couple clips? There's a couple I'm just really excited about. Let me see. So that's my favorite I've ever done.
So what date is this so people can go check it out?
Date.
Or
Um, where does
it's
it show
crazy,
the
bro.
date?
How far back is this in your feed?
May 13th. It's like maybe like 10 clips back ish.
Okay.
Or maybe a little more than that, but it's somewhere around there. It's just like a blank sky for the background. Yeah,
That's what it looks like.
yeah.
Damn, dude. And why are you proud of this one?
I'm proud of that one because as far as I know, no one but me has even done the bread for that trick, like by itself.
Yeah.
If they have, I haven't seen it.
And what do you mean by
Um,
bread?
the
Outer
pieces on the
parts?
two end, the 3 turn in and out of a 3 tap. I haven't seen that anywhere else.
Three turn, three tap, and that last tap hits three out. And then you did trip jug, triplet, trip jug, and then did the same thing to a stun fast.
Yeah, I also just think it's a really pretty elegant trick. It's 3 cubed.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 3-3-3, but there's three of them.
Oh, wow.
It's really nice symmetry. It's just I don't know. It's just a really pretty trick. It's really unique. I think I'm fairly certain I'm the only one who's ever done it or even anything close to
Close.
it.
Yeah. Are there other tricks like that that you feel you are um like you've developed the farthest in that concept?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's hard to know for sure, but I do believe so. Let me find another one. Um, where is this? I just had it. Where did it go? Oh, right here. I did. There's something I do called. I call them gap taps. Um, Basically, it's just like a 2 tap, but there's more space between it than
Yeah.
normal.
Okay.
Um, I did. Well, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 of that. So like 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5.
Right.
I'm
So you tap
pretty
it
sure.
once and it rotates 4.5, then you tap it again back to your hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
And then the one I sent you is 1, 2, 3 gap into 1, 2, 3 taps. So I do a 1, 2, 3 like 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. But after each of those, I add an
At a
extra
tap.
tap.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Um, wow.
Oh, and then I also the day after that I did 6 tap with a 3.5 gap right in the middle. I just sent
Yeah,
you that
that's
one.
crazy. It doesn't even seem like six tap. People who want to find it. That's what it looks like with thumbnail. So it's a six tap in total. You were
Yeah,
surprised? Two, three, one, two, three. Wow. That's cool.
and then the other one I'm really proud of recently is 1, 2, 3, 4 in and out. Let me see if I can find that. Um, I don't see anyone else doing these either. It's like multi-turn into a tap and then multi-turn out of it. Like it's a
Okay.
single tap. like three flips in, three flips out kind of thing. I did one,
Yeah.
two, three, four with that. Um, yeah.
Do you decide to go to, oh, here's the next one. What are you talking about now? Blue sky. So, okay, let's go.
Oh, and then the trick I'm most proud of that I'm not the only person to have landed as far as I know is four tap quad Ken four tap go stunt fast, the
Oh
no
yeah,
chug.
damn. Damn,
I
dude.
know Johnny Kress has done that.
Yeah.
He did that a while ago.
Yeah, it's crazy,
I
dude.
did it more recently, but
Do you for when you're going for a trick, do you kind of uh like think of the ender beforehand? Is that what you're going for the entire
usually,
time? Yeah, okay. So when you want to go for a
yeah,
stunt fast, even if you miss a stunt fast, you're not going to settle for a bird or for a double spike.
usually, yeah. Sometimes if sometimes I'll want the stunt fast, but then I'll be like, okay, this trick's actually really hard. I'm fine with joke spike.
Yeah, got you. Nice. Because you hit a lot of stunt fasts. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, and not only your stunt fast form, like your style, like the way you do the trick is unique, but I haven't seen anybody play like the way that you play. I've like talked about it a few times on podcasts, but the
Yeah,
space that you
I've
have, the
listened.
room that you have,
Yeah,
yeah. Do you notice that as well, or is it just
yeah.
some come? Yeah, okay. Where do you think that's from?
Um, I think early on, probably from watching Bonds,
Yeah,
because he's very loose and really big and uses all his space when he
yeah,
plays. And then I think also um, no one around me was doing juggles or taps or like any of that, so I
yeah,
taught all of that to myself.
yeah.
So I didn't really see anyone doing it with like tighter form. No one told me like make this smaller, make this more like
But it's
don't
working, so yeah.
don't go like way above your head to like I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it must use a lot of energy to be doing that because you're getting down so low every time.
Yeah, I think I've built up stamina for it.
Okay. Have
But
you
yeah.
have you have you noticed your arm or your legs or your back getting tired and you just work through it and then you improve your stamina?
Yes, I definitely get really sore if I'm playing a lot. These days, I usually only get sore if I'm playing like several hours every day consistently for several days, or if I play for like 8 hours in one day, which only happens when I go to like the boulder jams.
Right. How
It's
much do
mostly my
you,
shoulder that hurts, I would say.
okay. You like the back of your shoulder where you're pointing to? Do
Yeah, yeah.
you ever get like your bicep or up here a little muscle soreness with taps? Or is it more just your, yeah, right
Mostly
there?
the shoulder. Mostly the shoulder
Okay.
for me, I think. What about you?
Yeah, I get that muscle thing, and then the back side of the left side of my back, I get a little pinch sometimes.
The left side. You play
Yeah.
right handed, right?
hmm But I think it's the balance. I don't know. But the worst thing is if I'm doing a bunch of tap, if I'm going for a tap record and it's been a while, I just really feel it in my bicep. Like not the
Huh.
actual bicep muscle, but a muscle under that. And
Yeah.
then I get clunky and sluggish.
Do you work out? Like do you do exercise other than kendama?
I did for a while and kind of stopped in March, and now I'm kind of doing push-ups and pull-ups whenever I feel like it. Maybe every day, every other day. I'll just hit some push-ups and pull-ups. How about you?
Not a whole lot. The reason I ask is because I've noticed my biceps are like different sizes, and I think it's definitely
What?
because kendama is like pretty much my only form of exercise.
Wow. By the way, my brother said that you're super ripped.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if it's a six pack or something, but admit that's all
I
from Kendama.
Yes, pretty much all from Kendama. Yeah. I I don't know. I think I just have like a lean body type, and
Yeah,
so like any muscle that is there is really apparent, and then
yeah,
the way I play is so extreme that it's like, I guess it's just, yeah. My
yeah,
quads are crazy.
yeah, yeah. Shredded.
Yeah.
What kind of diet are you on?
Um, just like pretty
Anything?
bad, random. Yeah, just
Like, what'd you
whatever's in
have for
front.
breakfast? Like Captain Crunch?
Um, I had no, not that bad. I had a Jimmy Dean, like a sandwich, like a breakfast croissant.
Oh, okay. I think you meant like a sub.
Yeah, had a drinkable yogurt, orange juice, cold brew coffee.
Nice. Do you drink coffee a lot?
Only in the mornings.
Okay. Do you use any other supplements for Kendama play?
No, do you?
No, I've thought about it though.
Or like
Sometimes,
what's an example?
uh, caffeine, nicotine, peptides, steroids,
I
cocaine.
guess I do I do nicotine. I don't really do any other. I'm mostly pretty sober.
Yeah, okay. Do you drink alcohol that much?
Not often.
Yeah, Tom drinks when he plays.
Yeah.
He has a beer. Yeah, just
Oh,
fun.
really? I
Yeah,
think
he'll
I'm usually worse at kendama when I'm under the influence of anything.
yeah, me too. He brings a beer to the session, and then when he laces his first drink, he has one as a reward.
Oh, that's good.
But he's a Brit, so I think they have like, yeah, they just are different over there with beers.
Yeah, yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah, so okay, so you think with your form that was kind of intentional to kind of fix based on what you've seen, you thought that that was the right way to go, because
It
Bonds was
I guess
doing it.
it wasn't super intentional, but I think I saw Bonds playing that way,
Yeah,
and that made sense to me. And I think I don't know if you remember like first getting into kendama, but you kind of like, for me it was like unlocking a cheat code when
yeah,
figured out like that keep you have to follow whatever's
yeah,
moving.
yeah.
And I think of it like my head is like mounted to the moving object.
Mm,
So it's like that object shouldn't move in my field of view at all.
right.
And that felt like kind of unlocking all the basics for me when I
Okay.
figured that out.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that influenced a lot of the like just being very mobile while playing. And then I think also very early on, I had the mindset of always committing to it, always going for it, no matter how like fucked it gets.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed with your play too. Like with your sun fast, you can hold that Ken for so long. And even if the string's tangled or whatever, you just still go for it.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
sometimes it
interesting.
works.
Yeah, it seems like it works a lot. Yeah. Matt mentioned that how consistent you were in person. Like especially with stunt fasts, and he said that you hit like 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 really quickly. The tap.
Yeah, I hit that like second or third try.
Wow.
That was filming. But yeah, yeah, that,
Um,
that was a good day. That was a really good day.
you were feeling good that day.
That was the 12 tap day. I also
Yeah.
hit 8 tap throw, 8 tap that day.
Wow.
I'd never thrown into an 8 tap before.
Yeah.
So that was a really big day. I missed spike on trip can, trip jug, trip can, juggle, throw 9 tap.
Wow. That's crazy, man. So yeah, I just super honed. Do you notice, do you find that there's certain reasons why you're honed some days and not honed other days?
I've been trying to figure that out. I'm definitely more honed some days, and I'm definitely a lot less honed other days. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure. Do you notice that for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, if I play a lot and I go out the next day, usually not honed, a little sluggish like I was yesterday. And then usually
Yes,
if I play a lot, take a day break, go back, I'm feeling really good.
I think that's probably true for me as well. Um, yeah, I'll have like a really great sesh, and then the next day I'll go out and be mad because I like can't hit easy tricks.
Yeah. But then I think for me, events with people, those are the best. That's the best time to play because I get the energy from other
Yes,
people. And
yes,
those are the days that everything just feels so like committable. You can just commit to everything. You can really focus, use a lot of energy. And yeah, that feels like the most fulfilling for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
But Matt mentioned the spacing that you had when you were doing taps and doing stun fasts, and it made me think about seeing Redney in person just recently at NKC in Denmark. When he was going for different juggle tricks, he really brought the string, the tama and the ken. He really spread it out, even if he didn't necessarily
Mm.
need to. And
In
I'm
terms of
wondering if,
like timing
yeah, I
or like,
think I think it's more, yeah, just making the both objects, the tama and the ken, really spaced out and really using
yeah,
the full length of the string when you in the middle of a
yeah,
trick.
yeah.
Um, and it seemed like that's almost like a string tech strategy. But do you have any thoughts on that?
It does seem like there are two schools of thought for string management.
Yeah,
I think that is one of them. Like, go as slow as possible, use as much space as possible. I guess it kind of makes sense because if the string is more taut, there's less space for it to tangle.
Tango on the
Like if it's
Ken.
close to its max length.
Yeah,
But um if it's more tight, it's probably more wrinkled, so it might
yeah,
catch more. But then also I feel like playing really compressed and making your movements really fast and
yeah,
efficient also seems to work for a lot of people. So I
yeah,
think probably being in the middle is where you get the most string problems, I would imagine.
right.
But I don't know. That's just my
Yeah, for
speculation.
sure.
What do you think
That's
about that?
interesting. I never thought about the two different. I've always just thought that there were certain techniques that people do, like Yasu and Benji. I did a string control video on that, but I
I have
didn't think
not
of,
watched that, but I really want to. I remember seeing you posted that.
yeah, check it out because
What,
yeah, I bring some clips from Yasu and Benji, who both have
what
really
are
good
some of the
string
big
control.
takeaways?
Um, Definitely
Or like most,
spacing.
yeah.
So like, yeah, not having your Ken and Tama here, but like farther away.
Oh, you're talking about like left and right
Yeah,
spacing?
for
That makes
sure.
a lot of sense. Yeah.
Like with Benji's quad tap line, it was like the tap there that I gave out, and then he added the handle grip. Like he really pushes that Tama to the side. I've been doing that, and it's been really helping. It's
Okay.
gotta get into my muscle memory more, but whenever I do it, yeah, it makes it tangle a lot less. I go through a bunch of different things that can affect the string, like humidity, which it's probably pretty
Hmm.
obvious for you, and
Yeah.
the type of string, the bearing, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, too, it's just like back to energy levels. when I'm at an event with people and I'm feeling really honed, I won't have different string techniques. I just will be able to concentrate more and feel more able to manage everything, you know? So I think a part of it is just being super honed too. And
Yeah.
it's weird that I feel like Yasu's just always honed. I always feel like the way that he plays is as if I'm on at my best. And obviously my the tricks aren't irrelevant because the tricks that he's doing are insane, but just the
Hmm.
energy that he brings and the way that he plays is yeah, that definitely has to do with it too, you know?
Oh yeah. I Yeah, what do you think about I'm pretty sure you've talked about this before. Where you swap the tama out of taps, like the
Yeah.
positioning of
It makes a lot
what do
of
you
sense to throw the tama to the left if you're right-handed.
Yes. What about like in terms of closer to yourself or further away, like
Yeah.
in front of the can or like behind the can?
I think that's still debated. I haven't found like an objective answer for that because Pakia and Teblex do more in front of the spike almost, so to the left, but Tama is farther out from them. But then
Yes, but T-Black's
Ryoga,
kind of like does it in
he does
circles.
sometimes. Yeah, I think he's trying to get it to the left, but sometimes it will kind of go over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a few Japanese players, Ryoga, Nanoka. I can't think of any American players or European players that do it, but
They
they
throw the tama closer to themselves, right?
yeah, super to the left, super yeah, way closer to themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely still up for debate, but either way, I feel like more left, more separate. And then I think from there you can just kind of find what works for you. Uh, so if like, yeah, I mean, even if you go like 1 degree back, throw the time at 1 degree back towards you instead of like going full Ryoga or full Tablex, if you just change it around and see if that works, then I think that's gonna help, you know. But like an example that I think everyone kind of goes through this just to illustrate it, like I'm practicing KWC and there's the this one trick where it's a one, I have airplane 1.5 out, toss Tama, do a late flip. And then,
Hmm.
as I'm practicing that and getting it consistent, I find that there's just tiny little movements of where I place the tama, whether it's like at 10:30 or 11 or 9, or maybe Ryoga style, which is like 7. Um, that like I just kind of have to find the spot where it works and then commit that to muscle memory and then continue to execute.
Yeah. I have for swapping out of taps, I find it really hard to adjust that at all. I
Mm.
feel like it's such a fast movement that once you learn it, it's really hard to change the way you do it. I don't know about you.
I think it's just as hard as learning a new trick. Um,
To change the way
yeah,
you're
I
doing
think
something.
I think it can be overestimated with how difficult it is. But if you look at it as doing a new trick, it'd be about the
Mm,
same. I think you're creating connections in your brain just as you would be learning how to stunt fast for the first time. If you remember how tough it was to get that Tama and the
yes.
Ken straight up there, I think
Oh
it's
yeah.
just more rewarding because you can lace and do this hard trick versus changing up your form, something that you already have, and changing it into something that
Yeah.
you don't know is going to work. So there's less reward, but I think it still comes down to creating those new connections, which is brings in cortisol, frustration, and then you have to get over that. But um, yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I guess for some people it's going to be harder than they thought, and then some people it's going to be easier than they thought by looking at it that way. But yeah, I've definitely made progress where I can do Ryoga style if I wanted to because I
Oh
put in
really?
a
Okay.
yeah, I put in a lot of work. I mean, it won't look like Ryoga 100%, but I
Yeah.
put in a lot of work into getting that time away to the left. I mean, at some point when when I was doing juggles and doing some good new gen tricks, I was going completely to the right. And then I've switched from there. Like I was going so
You're throwing
10
the dama
out,
to the right,
yeah, and then right over. And
arcing it over.
yeah, I still see some people do that, especially like intermediate players, advanced players. Um, but yeah, I've completely changed that into more of a middle approach, or middle left. But um, yeah, I think I put in a little work. So now not all my tricks are way to the left, but some are. But
Hmm.
altogether, I'm just kind of like going counterclockwise, slowly and surely. But right now I found the spot that I need to be. I mean, right now I'm in this mood of like executing and not exploring because I'm practicing for KWC. So I have to
Mm,
stick to what I know, you know. Maybe after
yeah,
KWC I'll play with a few different things, but
that makes sense.
yeah. I mean, people ask for the ideal way and people are ready to risk and spend months on changing something up. I don't think it's that serious if it's working for you right now. Like
Yeah.
people saw my Ryoga video and they're like, "Oh my God, like this is the form." But meanwhile, Takia does more of a traditional form and he's the best in the world. So, and Nick Gallagher. I mean, Nick Gallagher he almost hit four tap jug late four to bird. Like he can hit that so easily. And his form is very traditional with the spin. It's not like Ryoga's with a backward spin. It's definitely above the Ken, maybe a little bit to the left. So as long as you're doing something along those lines and you're not doing something crazier than that, I think you're you're good to go, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but then I mean, Takia is just kind of mind melting with what his string is doing during his POV clips, where it just feels like I don't know if he has like incredibly tiny hands or just doesn't sweat at all. Maybe he has a genetic mutation where he needs to like, I think that actually is like a disease, a condition, which I'm not trying to
What?
joke about, but you don't sweat, you don't have any pores
Oh, yeah.
so you have to like, I don't know how you cool down, but regardless, yeah, I mean, should be joking about that, but Takia, like, it's just insane some of his POV clips where he's hitting these inward lunar lines. The string is crazy, but he's still playing and executing as if the string isn't doing what I see it's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. The string, the string messes with me really bad.
Speaking to the choir, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially for the multi-turn tap stuff. The string is the worst on those.
yeah, I can imagine.
The more like default tricks, I find the string a lot more manageable. But the like the generic like tap juggle chem flip type tricks,
Yeah.
the string doesn't bother me nearly as much for those. But for a lot of the multi-turn tap tricks, the string just hates those. I haven't really figured out the tech for how to avoid it yet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I really think that to really test that and if you want to be a more consistent player, not you specifically, but just anybody watching, like
Mhm.
if you want to get a good run in KDUC and you have to execute, you have to learn the string. And that's also another theory that kind of backs up why Japanese players are so consistent in person because they practice KWC for 3 months of the year. It's just what they just go full in, and then on the other 9 months they have KWC in mind. Like
Yeah.
KWC just kind of rules their play. I mean, not all players obviously, but for most of them. And when you need to execute and you need to perform in these 3 minutes, you need to have that string control down to like an insane level. Where just doing like bangers, like it depends on your level of um like grit, I guess, and how much you can push through a trick. But yeah, but it's funny. I mean, obviously, there's really consistent players that just seem to be posting bangers on Instagram. Like Casey, for example, for you, for example, from what I've heard from Matt, you were extremely consistent. But something that I personally have struggled with where I've hit these bangers, but I'm not close to doing it in person because at the time the string was just perfect for that one attempt. And
Yeah.
I haven't learned the correct string movements and other movements to get it consistent.
For me, most of the tricks that I've filmed, it will be at least a couple months before I can do them in a couple tries in person. But I do like
Yeah.
to go back and everything again. And I do like to
Okay.
go back and practice
Yeah.
tricks that I grinded for and posted as clips. There's a lot of tricks that were like really, really big grinds to get originally that now I can get within a couple tries, which is really cool.
Yeah. What are some examples?
Um, like 1 2 3 gap is pretty honed. Um,
Nice.
I did 1 2 3 turn into 1 2 3 tap in a game of Ken with someone. Um,
Wow.
I did I can do 1 2 3 turn out of 3 taps. So like 3 tap with a 2 turn out, 3 tap with a 3 turn
Yeah.
out. That's pretty consistent for me at this point.
Wow.
Um,
That's good. Damn.
yeah. And then I have a lot of the like just like I don't know. I call them generic tap tricks.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those on lock at this point. Like I can 3 2 1 tap first try, pretty much. Yeah, like pretty much always first try unless I'm like really not honed that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I have the dub tap with no juggles. That's like pretty much on lock for me at this
Nice,
point.
dude.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get the 3 3 3 version of that on lock.
Yeah. That's cool. Um, what realizations have you had about string that you can share? Learning string control.
Um,
I know it's probably hard to illustrate, but if you, yeah.
I'm really bad at it.
But you had to
I'm,
have,
re-
I
I'm
mean, to have those tricks on lock, especially the three turn out stuff, the gap stuff. I mean, those are like
yeah.
asking for the string to get tangled.
I don't know. I
Okay.
I feel like if I do mess those tricks up, it's because of the string.
Yeah. Okay. But I guess
That's
maybe
like
it's you
the
have
main
made a lot
point.
of realizations, but it's just hard to illustrate them. And when you play, you can kind of feel yourself doing them or feel yourself trying to execute this movement that you've gotten in the past. But um, yeah, I know what you mean. They're hard to put into words.
I try to like I try to experiment a lot when I'm getting messed up by the string
Yeah.
with like where I throw things and like the pacing, but it's hard to actually like tell consciously what worked and what didn't. It's kind of like
Right.
I think what I've noticed for me is I don't have to know what I'm doing right to learn from that.
Yeah.
Like if the my brain will learn subconsciously just
Yeah.
from me landing things.
Yeah. Okay.
So like yeah, and another thing that I've found is like I'll have a sesh where I'm not landing anything and it's a horrible sesh and I'm just getting really frustrated. And then the next day I'll feel like I got way better at the
Mm,
I was doing the day previously, even though I felt like I made no progress yesterday. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. I think
I
there's science
think
behind that.
I'm learning even when I'm not aware that I'm learning, and even when it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like I'm making progress.
Yeah, I've definitely found that the most important sessions for my progression and my growth are the sessions that I feel like crap and I just keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah. I had that
yeah.
yesterday. I filmed it actually. I've been filming my grinds for KWC and yesterday was just terrible, but I just kept pushing it and now um if I have another bad session like that, I might officially quit. No, I'm just exaggerating, but uh, I mean, just based on the past, yeah, the patterns that I've had, it probably leads to a really good session today, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I remember listening to a Huberman podcast about uh
Getting frustrated.
yeah, frustration and blame plasticity, which is when your brain is
Yes.
able to make those connections a lot quicker, and it has to do with frustration, cortisol levels, you know. So really, really
I think
interesting.
about that a lot ever since you
Yeah.
shared that.
Yeah.
I it makes me feel a lot more okay with getting frustrated.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
whenever I'm getting frustrated, I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. We're
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. I feel like your focus levels are really good. The fact that you can go for one trick for an hour or two. Do you notice, or do you frustrated at your own mind for not focusing on a trick, or are you pretty naturally good at just focusing every attempt?
Um, it's it's weird. I don't know.
Like
I
I
think
noticed
I'm
that myself, I will just get into the habit of like 20 minutes in, just my mind is just everywhere. It's just not on the trick, and then I have to consciously bring it back, and I have to do that
like
a lot.
mindlessly going for attempts rather than like
Yeah,
being very conscious and in
mindfully.
the moment. I Yeah, I kind of it kind of goes back and forth during the sesh.
Yeah.
And I'll catch myself and I'll like tell myself to lock back in, but then also sometimes I'll hit it when I'm going for it mindlessly.
Yeah, that's what Marcus says all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, those are you can probably tell like the clips where I hit it and wasn't really aware because that's when my reaction seems really like disconnected from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm not invested. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah, for
think I just
sure.
actually need to watch the video because I don't remember any of that. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure. It's
But then
funny.
sometimes I hit it on the attempt where I'm like very
Fully.
focused
Yeah.
and very in
That's
it and I feel like I really earned it,
it's
you know?
rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Um, what goals are you just on this trajectory of continuing to post better and better tricks, or not post, but just land better and better tricks? Or do you have some goals in mind of like being the top player in the world?
I don't think I'm ever going to be the top player. I don't even know how close I could get,
Yeah.
but I want to keep getting better. I want to keep landing things that I'm pretty sure no one else has done before because that's really exciting,
Yeah.
really cool. And I want to just keep getting better at the generic shit that there's always going to be people who are way better than me at. Like,
Yeah.
just like keep doing more taps, keep doing more chem flips, and just get more consistent. I want to, every trick I land for a clip, I want to eventually be able to do first try.
Right. 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 Do you write down tricks that you have ideas of, or do you just kind of have it all in your mind?
I used to write down, I used to make tons of lists. I don't these days because I have too many tricks and it feels like there's just so
Yeah.
many
Overwhelming.
and I don't really forget them. Like they're just I don't know. They're all there and they're all at the front of my mind and it's really easy to go out for a sesh without even having a trick in mind and think of a trick that I want to try.
Yeah, for sure. Got you. So how about your filming too? Do you just film right when you get out there, or do you do a warm up?
I don't usually warm up. I don't stretch. I should stretch. That's
Yeah.
probably good. Um, I usually just start filming.
Damn. Right when you get out there.
Yeah, if I'm trying to land multiple tricks, I will start with the easier ones or the ones that I
Yeah.
expect to be. If I'm trying to go for just a really huge banger, sometimes I will start by landing smaller tricks, and then if I'm like feeling like I've landed, or actually, yeah, I don't usually set out to land something that I expect to be really hard.
Mm.
I will I will go for, if I land like three solid bangers in one sesh and I'm feeling good, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I should go for this dream trick that I have that feels fairly unreachable, but I know I can do at some
Yeah.
point. That's like kind of when I go for those usually, because
Yeah.
it's really hard to jump into a sesh and try to go for something that you expect to be really difficult.
Right.
But if you like warm up with landing other tricks, then it sometimes it feels more doable.
Mm. Better use the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, I got to as well.
Post this video.
Hip.
Yeah. Um, so I wanted to go into taps. Your record's 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're maybe, I don't know how many American players have hit 12 tap. Maybe five, 10.
I think five is right.
Okay.
Um, Johnny Kress, Casey Henson.
Schultz.
Oh, Jacob Schultz. He's
I think
done
he has.
12.
Yeah.
That makes,
Elliot, stringless. I don't know if that counts.
yeah. Jay Kress, Jacob Schultz, Elliot Patterson, me, Casey. There's probably one or two more, maybe. Oh, Nate. Nate
Yeah.
Wilcox.
I don't know if Nick's hit it. And I think Nick's only hit 10.
I think that's right. I'm not sure.
Cool. So, what was that grind like? I've obviously started with one tap, but yeah, do you want to just go through that tap
The grind
progression?
from 1 to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I think the first time I hit more than a single tap. I think the first like two tap I did was lighthouse, two tap lighthouse.
Yeah.
And was probably like a year or two into Kendama for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was really, really hard. And I remember being really excited about getting that. Um, and then I probably did some three tap. I think I did some three taps and four taps. I hit five tap and 3-2-1 tap on the same day. And I think that was like 4 years ago, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, like 2018, maybe 2019. Um,
Yeah.
and then it took me a while to go from five to six, I think.
Okay.
And then six to seven was also a pretty big push. Like it was probably like a year from five to six, a year from six to seven, a year from seven to eight. And then I think I was trying to do eights like pretty regularly for a
Right.
while to build up to doing more. And then I did nine and 10 on the same day. Um, that was a really great sesh. I landed a lot of shit that day. Um, I hit the nine like second try, and I was like, oh, I think 10 goes today. And then I
Yeah.
got the 10 really quickly. So that was really
Wow.
cool. Um, and then I didn't go for, I've only done like 3 10 taps, I think, in my
Okay.
life. Or maybe four at this point. But yeah, I didn't really push for more than 10 for a while. But I was going for 11 when I hit the 12 actually. And I kind of just
Mhm.
dissociated and did an extra tap, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I think evens are easier than odds. What do you think?
Yeah, I've always had, I think it just kind of depends on what you started with. I started with a lot of ones before I did a two,
Yeah,
and I did a lot of threes before a four, so odds were good for me for a while, and then
I
evens
think
caught up. Yeah.
low number odds are easier than low number evens, but at a high number, I think evens feel better just because it feels more natural to come out of the even
Yeah.
at a like just the amount of momentum you have.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it. Yeah, it just felt it. The 12 felt really good.
Yeah.
And one thing that like worked for me on that day in particular, I don't know if this is like my strat from now on, but I was counting in fours.
Okay.
1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and that felt
Yeah.
really good. It felt a lot easier to think of it just as like an eight tap, for example, is just two fours. It was a lot
Yeah.
easier to break it up smaller because I felt like my fours were really good and they were kind of like one unit.
Yeah.
Like I could just do a clean four. So if I just did two in a row, it was a lot easier to do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it like going from 10 to 12?
Um, I didn't try for a while, and then I think that when I did finally try, that was at Ken Club in Boulder. Um, I was just feeling really honed that day. I had hit eight throw eight earlier,
Mm.
so I was feeling really good about my taps, and I yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that long of a grind.
Yeah. Um, what have been your go-to kendamas and shapes and clears during your career?
During my okay, so um recently, um I really liked the amped shape from Sweets for a
Yeah.
while. I think I went through five Nonica mods.
Okay. Wow.
Um, and that's what I hit my 10 tap on. And I also hit six tap jug six Ken jug six tap on that.
Mm,
Um, so a lot of bangers on that shape. And then I started playing the element, um, and I really liked that Ken. Um, I did. I'm trying to remember what I like. I definitely hit. Well, yeah, I hit a lot of like all the tricks that I was talking about earlier that I'm like most proud of. I did all those on an element Ken.
mm. What do you like about the element?
The taps feel really natural.
Mm,
It feels like what I expect taps to feel like.
yeah.
It's really bouncy. Um, it's like the rhythm feels nice. Um, I like the softness of the handle,
Mm,
and the edges aren't sharp, so it doesn't hurt to
yeah.
do big flips or um, also something about the shape, just the Ken flips like just whip.
Yeah.
It's like six Ken feels easier on that shape than on any other shape I've ever played on.
Mm,
Uh, and then um, also, yeah, the stall points are really nice. The it's big, but it's not like huge.
right.
Um, I feel like it's just a very well-rounded shape. It's a really good shape.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Um,
And then, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Um, and then recently I've been playing on the Deadbolt X from Locked.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's the
Yeah,
newest
and that's
one?
what I got. What's that?
Is that the newest one?
Yes, that's what I hit 12 tap on. Um, I didn't like it at first because the cups come super loose. Like right out the box,
Mm,
the cups are like falling off if I do like four taps in a row,
yeah.
also like coming off by the last four tap. But I just put like a sticky note in it, and then it was the best tap dama I've ever played on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think Element and the Deadball X are my two favorite shapes right now. I don't really play the Amped anymore, but those
Yeah.
two
Okay.
are still
Nice.
the best shapes I've ever played on, I think.
Yeah, they both have a pretty soft handle too, which is funny. I wonder if that
Yes.
has to do with the tapping, you
Yeah.
know?
I think I like that. I don't know if it makes a difference for tapping, honestly.
Yeah, maybe just size. I feel like probably not, but that's cool. Um, is there anything else that you wanted to like bring up and discuss, talk about?
Mm,
Anything that
um,
you've seen in recent videos or interviews or
what do you think of like trick structure, trick composition?
yeah, I feel like what I've been trying to change is for maybe an Instagram viral clip, viral even within the community. Uh, I've been trying to change it up a little bit because I feel like I'm too stuck on making a perfect sandwich. Um,
Mm,
but I just can't really help it. It's kind of a fight between, doing something for the community versus just doing something for myself. Um, but it's just the most satisfying. I just really am attached to the tap, juggle late, juggle tap lines. I just love those.
yes,
Uh,
me too.
like I just can't get away from those. Um, or just even multiple taps in one. but I've been trying to freestyle recently, and that's just kind of, I mean, there's no like sandwiches in that. It's just a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think if I were to like film and edit for myself, it would probably be super irregular stuff that doesn't make sense just to kind of make it better for the viewer. Not that I hate doing it,
Oh,
but I
you
just
think people like that more?
I I think the general yeah maybe I mean I think I like it more. Like if I'm
Yeah.
gonna it depends if it's like this if it's a really long sandwich where I know what to expect. I'm like there's no way he's gonna do it again and he does it again. I'm really surprised.
Mhm.
Um, if it's like Benji, for example, with that quad tap line, and then you're waiting for the ender and it's like a penguin stun fast. But
Yeah.
I think there's something exciting about like four different tricks in one line. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think that's kind of something I've been interested in recently, and trying, and something that I definitely like watching. But I don't know if yeah, I don't really have a strong preference for one or the other. But if I'm gonna see like a new gen line, I think I've recently been liking just watching something that uh surprises me that I can't expect, you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Trying to think of it, like of an example. I mean, of course, you can still make sandwiches that are super random and like with like a weird mathematical equation, and that's
Hmm.
cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ryoga's tricks recently, who's been one of my favorite players to watch, or even Taki's tricks. I feel like they probably are symmetrical in some instances, but a lot of the times
Yeah.
they are pretty random, you know? Um, yeah, how about you?
I have a pretty specific taste for um, trick compositions.
Yeah,
Um, I really like. I do like symmetry. I really like when the numbers make sense.
yeah,
I like. Um, I think any angel number is sick. So like three of the same number, like three, three,
okay,
three, four, four. Those are all sick. Um,
yeah,
then I also like when it's like a number squared. So like three threes is the most elegant angel number trick because it's three
yeah,
threes. And
yeah,
then I really like doing like four sets of four or five
yeah,
sets of five, um, stuff like that. Um, I like symmetry. I like when the symmetry is like reversed on the other side. So
yeah,
like
okay,
it's reflective. So like if you're doing like three turns out of something, like three
yeah,
turns out of a tap on the front, on the other side you do three turns into the tap or something like that.
right, yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure,
and then ascending and descending numbers are always nice.
yeah,
Just like 2 3 or 3 2 1, you know.
yeah.
And then I also really like as few juggles as possible.
Mm. I I uh I think what I'm mentioning when it comes to the more randomness stuff, like I don't know if you saw Rui, is it Rui? Yeah, his last trick. Maybe there is symmetry that I missed, but it felt pretty chaotic and it was really, really cool. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. I think it's his most recent trick.
Should I try and pull it up?
Yeah.
Ruby, Ruby boy,
Yeah, I think this last trick is one of my favorite tricks that I've ever seen in a long time.
four tap.
Okay, yeah, I guess there was symmetry just in a really unique way. But the end just kind of was just like,
Yeah,
yeah, so I get it's not completely symmetrical, but there's kind of two symmetrical tricks in there. But
and then yeah, that's wild. That's really cool. Yeah, it's so wait, so it's four tap to the like inward dirty finger,
Yeah.
tap out of that, and then four tap, and then yeah, and then there's a like a different trick just after that, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's inward four tap the
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
time, which
Yeah.
it so it has that reflective symmetry that I really like.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Nice.
Um,
Yeah, so I guess something that's symmetrical but vaguely symmetrical or like hard to find the symmetry.
yeah, I do like that when I like when the numbers make sense, but it's unpredictable. That's really cool too.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like
Um,
imperfect symmetry, like I really like the like trip can juggle trip can because it's a three
yeah.
three three. It's like there's a juggle between like it just in like you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, I think I would probably want to do something else, like another trip Ken or something if I was going for that. Um, who are your biggest inspirations? Who are the players that you really like to watch?
Hmm. Um. It's weird. I don't watch nearly as much Kendama as I used to. I don't
Okay,
scroll Instagram nearly as much as I used to. Um, but Ben Harold is my favorite player by
okay,
far. Um, for a long time.
yeah,
Um, I really like. I don't know. I really like the. Yeah, I don't know these days. I just don't. I
yeah,
don't like. I don't watch it like I used to. I guess.
yeah. Okay. Well, back in the day, who would you watch a lot of?
Um, I really like Tio as well.
Yeah, okay.
I think I liked the. I don't remember exactly the year, but like there was an era of Tio that I think has inspired a lot of the stuff that I've been doing recently. A lot of the
Yeah,
like no juggle, multi-turn tap stuff. Um, I really
yeah,
like
for
that
sure.
era of TO.
You have a similar playing style too with uh kind of your pace of play, and your
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Um, Bonds is just so exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
The way he makes everything look so huge
Yeah,
is really sick. Um,
definitely, definitely.
I'm trying to think. There's um, I really like Shredwin,
Yeah,
um, or ET.
yeah,
Um, I feel like we have a similar mindset. I feel like we probably have a similar mindset in terms of like grinding and like just
yeah,
filming and getting pissed off and you know. Um,
yeah,
so I feel very like I feel very relatable when I'm watching his clips.
yeah. Okay.
I like hmm, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I enjoy seeing clips. I kind of just like it's just whatever pops up in my feed. I'll see a lot of
Yeah.
really cool stuff.
Okay.
I've been really amazed just at how many like tiny kids in Japan are doing tricks that I could like never dream of hitting.
Yeah, for sure. That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go to NAKO this year, do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I can't afford it right now.
yeah, I feel you. It sucks. Um, Well, dude, it was really good talking to you.
Yeah, man.
I really, really appreciate your passion. I know it's super tough with life, and yeah, blindly following your passion is really respectable, which I know that you're doing and you've been doing for a while. And it's super cool. Yeah, because I think that's what we're all kind of doing, playing Kendama. Like the only reward
Yeah,
is just you yourself progressing. There's no fame, nor notoriety or money. So it's like, yeah, it's like I think really rare for humans to do that in general. But then also, um, yeah, I don't know, it's really respectable. So yeah, keep doing it, bro. I'm a big fan. So good talking
hell
to you,
yeah, man.
man.
I'm a big fan of you. I really love all the stuff you do. All the you have probably the best video content, like long form content for Kendama, I think.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yeah, dude. All right. Well, good talking to you, Tim.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, bro. See you.
Catch you later.
Bye.